Alright, math magicians, here we are. We're going to finish up our notes on the Pythagorean theorem. So this is part 2. I told you I'd do 2 more examples. So here is example number 3. Let's say you're told you have a right triangle. That's triangle. And you know one leg is 3 inches longer than the other. One leg is 3 inches longer than the other leg. One leg is 3 inches longer, and let's say you know the hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is 15 inches. And let's say you're being asked to find the lengths of the legs. So the leg lengths. Alright, it's going to be really helpful, I think, to draw a picture. So draw a right triangle. A right triangle has one right angle. Okay, one leg is 3 inches longer than the other. So I don't know either leg. I know one's longer than the other. Now remember, your legs, not your legs, but the legs of the right triangle together make the right angle. So one leg is longer than the other. So this one's longer. So this one we don't know. We don't know either one. So let's make the shorter one x. And the other one is x plus 3 because it's a little bit longer. So to make, when you measure something and it's longer, you would add 3 inches if it's 3 inches longer. And then a hypotenuse, remember the hypotenuse is always the one that's across from the right angle. And so the hypotenuse is 15 inches. Oops, let's use black. Alright, let's use the Pythagorean theorem. Leg squared plus the other leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. And it's always leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. Alright, let's do the math. We'll have x squared. X plus 3 squared, that means x plus 3 times itself. And 15 squared means 15 times 15, 225. Alright, you need to do some double distributing here. X times x, x times 3, 3 times x, 3 times 3. X squared plus x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9 equals 225. Add your like terms. 2x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 225. Alright, we have squared, which is quadratic. To solve a quadratic, you put everything on one side, set it equal to 0. So let's move this 225 by subtracting it from the 9. 2x squared plus 6x minus 216. And now we factor, but wait. I can divide everything, including the 0. I can divide everything by 2. So I'm going to divide everything by 2. Now I'm going to factor. So this is a trinomial with a leading coefficient of 1. So I need two things that multiply to give me negative 108 and add up to 3. They multiply to negative 108 and add up to 3. I happen to know that that's going to be negative 9 and 12. Negative 9 and 12. So now I can factor it. X minus 9, x plus 12. So x either equals 9 or negative 12. Now, negative 12. I can't measure a side of a triangle to come out to be negative 12. So that's your extraneous root. So x must be 9, so this side must be 9, and we're measuring in inches. So this side here has to be 9 inches. And then the other side is 9, because x is 9 plus 3. 9 plus 3, 12. And that's the answer to the problem. All right, we'll try one more. All right, so here's your fourth and last example. Remember, you can pause this video. You can go back and re-watch any part of it. So let's say you have a right triangle. Let's draw it kind of flipped around. So here's the right angle. And let's say that this is 10 yards. And this one we don't know. And this one is 16 yards. Okay, since it's a right triangle, it has a right angle, then we can use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now remember, the a and the b have to be the legs. And legs together meet at the right angle. So this is a leg, and this is a leg. Here's the hypotenuse. It's across from the right angle. So 10 squared plus b squared equals 16 squared. 10 squared I know is 100 plus b squared. 16 squared, I can type it in my calculator. It's 256. All right, to get rid of this 100, we're going to subtract 100 from both sides. B squared equals 156. And then the opposite of squaring is take the square root. Now 156 happens to have a perfect square in it. Okay? The square root of b squared is b. And the square root of 156, it has a perfect square, 4. 4 times 39 is 156. So b would equal square root of 4 times the square root of 39. So b would equal 2 square roots of 39. Now technically it's plus or minus, but again, negatives aren't going to make much sense here because we're talking about measurements. So there would be the answer to what b is, and it'd be yards. Alright, I hope this is helpful. Feel free to re-watch it or ask me some questions if you need some help. Alright, good luck.